Origin Gents, welcome to CG Reaction, and this is Casually Explains Levels of Wealth by the channel Casually Explained. So yeah, levels of wealth. Well, let's just say there is really poor, poor level, bottom level, where people are literally beggars and homeless. Then there is, poor, managing poor, that people are still making money but they're barely managing with minimum wages and whatever. Then there is lower middle class, let's just say, where they are struggling, have a good enough job but still struggling. They had to do more than one job just to get by. They can't afford literally anything. Everything is a stressing thing. There is no middle class, obviously. Then there is a bit of an upper middle class, close to being rich but not really rich, who are rich enough that they have few cars but not rich. So they are doing fine, I guess, but they are not rich, but they can afford few cars. So it's above above middle class. Then there is a rich enough guys who owns a stake here and there, who's partner at some company or something like that, small enough company, owner of small company, who has some properties around, who's rich enough. Then there is properly rich, who owns a good enough companies, who's really rich, has many homes in different cities, and doing well, has private jets. And then there is ridiculously rich, like proper multi-billionaires, like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and currently number one rich guy, Elon Musk. That's about right, isn't it? Elon Musk. Every time we heard about all Elon Musk's idea and his his name, Elon Musk. He wants to go to Mars. He wants to create some kind of a tunnel underneath Los Angeles. And all this idea sounds like this is a guy who should be the richest guy, the way he's doing all these things. But he wasn't even in top 10 when he was doing all these things. And now he's the richest guy. Like, yeah, now it feels about right. With all his with all his ideas and things he wants to do, and now he's the richest guy and his name is Elon Musk. Yeah, it feels about right. So let's watch this video. And remember, people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down if you want me to react to a certain video. Check out other reaction I did. There's a link in the description. Check out the cards. Check out the end cards. And yeah, let's watch this one.
When we think of money, it's usually in terms of what things we can buy with it. But your level of wealth doesn't only determine what you own, it can determine entirely what your life looks like. And I wanted to give a bit of an overview of what that could look like at some different intervals. Now, at the bottom of the pyramid, of course, we have the alcoholic, amphetamine-abusing lowlife who mooch off public services because they can't pay their debts or find a job.
College.
Fucking grad students. Disgusting. Next, we have the working and middle class, which makes up about 90% of the population. Even though it might seem like they can't accomplish much compared to the elites of society, members of the middle class can work together to become much more powerful. As an example, with one roommate they can afford rent, but with two they can afford furniture. The middle class earns up to $300,000 a year, but the median individual income is a lot more modest at $38,000. This can be pretty misleading though, because if you're 50 with a wife and two kids, $38K a year is pretty rough. But if you're 21 and single, you're buying resale Yeezys thinking, man, I wonder how much sex I'd have if I didn't live with my parents. So in conjunction, I think there are a couple lifestyle indicators to check to see if you're in the middle class, such as your grandparents had 5 kids, your parents had 3 kids, and you're going to put a stop to it once and for all. And you don't have an emergency fund because you figure that if you're on vacation, your appendix gives out, why would you spend $20K on surgery when you could just die? So moving beyond.
Yeah, that is kind of true. Man, people are choosing not to have kids nowadays. That's not the sign of anything, obviously. But yeah, there is no middle class though. Let's be honest. There's a lower middle class who are just struggling, and like I said, a bit of upper middle class who are not really rich but doing good enough. So yeah, middle class is if you watch 70s 80s US lifestyle, there was a middle class then. There was just one guy doing a job. He can support a family with 2-3 kids. He had a good enough home. Nowadays that's a struggle. The husband has to work, the wife has to work, the children has to do some kind of a job here and there in part-time or whatever, just to get by, just to go into college and schools. So that isn't really middle class. It's either bottom middle class or higher, rich, close to rich middle class, I guess.
On the middle class, we get to the start of your truly wealthy people. These are the notorious 1% who typically have an individual income of $300,000 or higher, or a net worth of over $8 million. Usually this means you have more than one home, active investments, travel whenever you want, and basically have the best of everything short of private jets and a
Basically
Battlefront
Wall
2
Street.
season pass. But in the same way someone in the arts might wave their fist at an accomplished engineer, there's a huge difference between people within the 1%. As an example, if you're worth 75 million, you have the ability to see almost anyone in the world just by asking. But if you're worth 75 billion, you have the ability to see almost anyone in the world without asking. Once you're worth over $100 million, people use your first and last name when they talk about you. And if you're not famous, you at least have a Wikipedia page that you didn't make yourself. You likely make up to $10 million a year, which to compare with a more normal income is like going to Costco and paying $1.50 for a hot dog, but getting 100 hot dogs. I don't know why I left that in. At this point, your wealth is almost magnetic to more wealth, and ironically, things start costing less. I could pay $5,000 for a Gucci suit, and people might think I'm cool, but if I were actually cool, Gucci would have paid me to wear it. While it sounds pretty great, you might start to wonder if people like you for you, or only like you because you're rich and famous. Fortunately, though, you are rich and famous. So finally,
that is a real thing, isn't it? When it comes to, famedom. Let's just say not all rich people are famous like that. Celebrity famous. Somebody choose not to stay in basically spotlight all the time. But at certain points, there are rich people who are really has to be on the spotlight just to be relevant, I guess. They have followers, let's just say, and it becomes a thing like, do people like me because of me or because I'm famous? It's usually because you're famous, because people might like you for who you are, but they are not even thinking that because you're famous. So there is a depressing thing going on in lots of rich class too. But when you're really, really rich, like, multi-billion-dollar rich, I don't see how you can be depressed, because at that point, it's your fucking fault you're depressed. You can literally do anything. And they are doing that. Elon Musk and that, Richard Branson, things like people like that want to go and live on Mars just because they thought, like, I want to do that. How can you be depressed then? You literally can do anything you want.
Very top of the pyramid, we have the people worth over $1 billion, the 0.001%. Guys like Elon, Jeff, Branson, and Bill. These people have so much money they can literally change the world. Save the kids? Done. Create your own space program? Done. Dinner with the president? You are the president. You don't fly business, you buy the business. When you get pet supplies from Amazon, you mean the rainforest. And when you say, hey babe, how about I drive this time? You're talking to the car. If you look at the absolute top, Jeff Bezos recently overtook Bill Gates, and to be as rich as the two of them, you would have to earn about $5,000.
Oh yeah, this is video from 2017. Recently, Elon Musk took over, Jeff Bezos and became the richest guy. It feels about right, like I said in the start of the video. He's all of his ideas, the brilliance that man has. His name is Elon Musk, and he's the richest guy. Feels about right.
Dollars every minute you're alive. They even said themselves, I don't think I could even spend the money if I tried. Fucking amateurs.
Yeah.
Now with the pyramid capped off,
and especially with Bill Gates. Every time you see Bill Gates, he has these modest clothes, modest things that he's wearing, his glasses and everything. I'm like, dude, you are the richest guys for decades. You do know that, right? I mean, spend some money in clothes to just look like that. I mean, people who are not even 100th of what he's worth in Wall Street or whatever, they dress like they are really rich, and this guy just walks around like modestly. I mean, Jeff Bezos at least used to dress like some hitman or something with glasses and things. So at least, all right, that's fine.
If we step back, it does seem like the implication here is that your life gets better the more money you have, which brings about the age-old question of, does money buy you happiness?
Yeah.
And from what I've looked at,
Definitely.
I think the best explanation is that money won't buy you happiness, but it can make problems go away that make you unhappy. Like when you go to take money.
Yeah, if you're not unhappy, then you're probably happy. And if you're really rich like this, 0.001%, the Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk money, then you better be happy. Because if you're not, that pisses me off, man. Dude, you have all this money and you're not happy. Are you kidding me? You can literally do anything. Literally. I mean, think of the absurd things you want to do. You can do it. Nobody can do jack shit about it. How can you not be happy? I mean, look, at certain points, if you get rich, you start to get depressed because people like you because you're rich. But after a certain point, you become so rich that you're literally too powerful. How you're not happy after that? You might not care that people like you because you're rich, because at that point you're so rich it doesn't matter.
Money out of your bank account and get charged a fee because there's no money in your bank account. When you buy tickets online, you have to pay extra for doing all the work yourself. With that said, I wanted to end it at that point, but I showed my friend and she said, is that it? Is it just first world countries? What about the rest of the world? And like they say, you can't make your sneakers and wear them too. The good news is that my demographics show that there aren't many people in third world countries watching my videos.
So nobody from India is watching his video. I guess I will be the first one. There'll be a dot here somewhere. Yeah, there are rich people in India too. There was a story where some parents give their kid a BMW in his on his birthday, and the guy just took the BMW and threw it into the river or something. Why? Because he was pissed. He wanted a Jaguar. I mean, where I live, in literally my neighbor, in front of my house, there's a humongous estate. I mean, you might have seen one of my videos, old videos, how, recorded from the roof, you could see the house. He has 11 to 12 cars, and all of them are really expensive ones. In my area alone, there are lots of Jaguars and, sports car, Bentleys, Nissan GTRs. So, I mean, this is an issue here as well, man. People are damn rich. And yeah, that is true. Lots of them are also depressed. I know lots of them, they are somewhat depressed too. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
They don't have internet. So we'll worry about that another time.
Yeah, this was a good video, but yeah, there is no middle class. I don't think there is a good enough middle class, like close to rich but not rich. There are rich enough guy who owns steaks, like I said, and they're really rich guys. And yeah, alright, I guess that was my reaction. If you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out the reaction. There's a link in the description. Check out the cars, check out the end cards, I guess. And yeah, I'll see you next time.